What's up? Hey, I've got a unboxed knife that I'm going to do a quick checkout on. It's already been checked in, so let's just check it out. So it is a CIVIVI button lock. And in particular, this one is considered the button lock Elementum. Now, I know that they have the Elementum that's a button lock now, but this isn't that one. This is the one that came out quite a while back, and it only opens with this button. You press the button, and it opens, and then it locks. You press the button to go back, and it locks in both directions. So what that looks like is that. The only way to get in this knife is to fling it. You fling it open, and you press the button, you fling it closed. There's a little timing involved because when you fling it open, you have to release the button to lock it in the open position, because if you hold that button, it'll go there and it's not going to lock. So you have to press it to release it, and then release the button so it locks. Same thing closing it. You press the button, it will go to close. You have to release the button before it gets there so it'll lock. So there's a little timing involved, but it didn't take me very long to figure it out. And if I can figure it out, I'm pretty sure anybody can. Yeah, so that's the whole knife right there. Fling it open, you fling it close. You fling it open, you fling it close. It's got a long, slender blade that, you know what? I don't know if is that a hollow ground blade? Let's look. I don't think it is, but okay, so it is a hollow ground. It's a hollow ground blade. It's in 14C28N. So hollow ground 14C28N, steel liners with black micarta and a stonewashed blade. Now I have reprofiled this and sharpened it, so it doesn't come from a factory looking like that. But yeah. So the action, if you press that button, it's drop, fall, shut. Absolute tight lockup. There's no play in there anywhere, open or closed. Closed in the lock position or open in between. Solid as a rock. But it does just fall shut. So wonderful bearings and action in there. And if you can tell from this pocket clip, I have carried this knife a bunch. This knife is really a pleasure to carry. I like it a lot. Real quick, the button is not recessed on this one. The button is above the scales, and you can feel it's pretty dominant. I'm sure the reason for that, it's not recessed, because you're going to use that button a lot. You got to use it to get in, to get out. And so to recess that and make it difficult to get to wouldn't have made sense on this knife. So I don't have a problem with where it's at. It's not naturally in a grip position. So I found no issues with, and I've carried this knife a bunch, but no issues with where this button's located and fumbling around with it or bumping into it. The grip on this knife, the knife is very slender, it's long, and everything is rounded and comfortable. So there's no hot spots. The pocket melts right into the palm where it should. And so a strong grip up, this jimping on the spine, CIVIVI does this right. This stuff is always super aggressive. It bites really well. So this strong grip transferred to a thumb forward, it locks in. This really a nice, confident lock-in spot. You can also go forward of the pivot. There's a spot here to get for, more detailed work, whatever's going on with that. But that's a reasonable purchase, and it can be done. And this strong grip is wonderful. Would I recommend it, me personally, for EDC? There is this swoop that kind of puts you in behind it, so it's confident. In a pinch, I'd say, it's probably going to work, but I would not plan to carry this as an EDC if there was any potential for having to put any forward work in with this knife. Just because, man, if you met resistance here, you could just come up and over, and now you got a mess. And yeah, so the pocket clip, let's check it. My trusty shorts here, thick seam. If they'll go in this, they'll go in anything. So super slippy, just goes right in. This is definitely a one hand in the pocket and one hand out. There's no resistance, there's no snagging, catching, and on the thinner material without the big heavy seam, it's just better, Definitely a good grip in the pocket. Wherever you put this in your pocket, that's where it's going to stay. Deep carry, the knife disappears with that pocket clip. You just got the clip coming out of the pocket. So yeah, the pocket clip's definitely, it's a good one. I mean, there's nothing spectacular about it, but at the end of the day, it does its job, which is what you want, right? So safety on this knife, let's check it. Can you contact any of the blade and any of the standard through the back in between the scales? The answer is no. What about the tip up front? You can see this tip in here. Can you get to that? Absolutely not. So, the knife was designed properly. There's no access to a pocket knife. When you're putting your hand in the pocket, you're not going to run into a blade and cut yourself. So, thought was into that. The scales are chamfered around the edge and smoothed, I guess sanded. So, just grippy micarta. I don't know if I showed the texture of that, but super grippy, wonderful micarta. There's some milling on the button, and you can feel that milling. There's some texture to that button. So price and availability. So this was a next day purchase on Amazon for me. So that's where I'm going to source the knife. I bought this on Amazon. Ordered it one day, got it the next day, and I paid $66 for it. It's the first CIVIVI button Elementum. It's not the Elementum that they added a button to. This knife is bigger. The blade shape is different, longer. So if you're looking for it, there's a link down below for this one. It's not the standard Elementum. That's quite a bit smaller knife, and the blade is definitely smaller. So, but yeah, $66. I got it the next day, 14C 28N. And let's see if it's sharp. So, yeah, you gotta love some C14C, man. Takes a great edge, and using my work sharp, it puts a convex edge on them. So, especially with this this hollow grind, and then that convex edge versus a flat grind, this thing's it's a shaven beast. Yeah, this thing will whittle hair and paper and whatever else you put in front of it. Yeah, super sharp. Anyways, so the Elementum button lock. Some people don't like it because you can only get in it with that button, but I didn't find that unattractive at all. I actually kind of like that function and that feature. I got used to it pretty quick, and I like it. I recommend the knife. Appreciate you watching.